I want you to visualize something. I want you to imagine yourself in a fight where you're just swinging and not hitting anything but air. You're tired, you're sweating, you're frustrated. You want to use your gifts and your talents. You know you've been sent to the workplace, the marketplace, to minister however God has asked you to do so. But you need to be equipped. I need to be equipped. We need to be equipped. Spiritual Principles in the Marketplace does just that. It gives us spiritual principles for success, not only for personal, but also for our professional lives. Every month, every fourth Friday of the month, we come together for Bible teaching that really speaks to how we are supposed to really use our gifts and talents in the marketplace, but through spiritual principles, principles that do not change. I welcome you and I invite you to stop swinging in the air, stop being frustrated, and just join us each and every month as we come together, speaking with one another, breaking bread together in a corporate environment. We're not going to take you outside of where you are. We want you to be able to use this for specificity for your life and for self-application. Once again, join us for Spiritual Principles in the Marketplace to get equipped personally and professionally. I can't wait to see you.
Well, welcome to Next Level Leadership. I am Dee Collins, and I want you to know that Next Level Leadership is nothing but transformational leadership. I know you saw that opening before I came on and spiritual principles, and we definitely want to invite you out to come and join us. Join us where spiritual principles are the key to success. So I want to talk about today transformational leadership, but it's really lined with entrepreneurs, people who have a vision, people who have a mission, people who have an idea, people who really have been holding back, knowing that the place that you are in your life is not the place that you were designed, created, and called to be. Entrepreneurship is on the rise. And it's not just entrepreneurship where you start a business, make some money, do all these things and just for own selfish gain. No, it's about entrepreneurial leadership. However, it's a process. It's a process that we have to be transformed by the renewing of our minds. We have to be transformed to understand what is required of us as opposed to what is required of our business, as opposed to what is required of our goal of what we're trying to accomplish. People always ask me, Dee, exactly what do you do? And I have various entities and I have various businesses and I have different things that I utilize as a tool to be able to do that, particularly publications, events, magazines, books, as well as this television show right here. However, the whole niche of all that I do is working with people of all professions. For instance, you are a leader. It doesn't matter if you are at home, if you're in your place of business, if you're a wife, if you're a father, whatever your title is, that's a leader. Everyone was born and created to be a leader. However, you have to be developed. However, you have to be transformed. However, you have to go through processes. And that's where a lot of us get stuck because we don't want to go through a process. This culture, the world we're living, our society and your environment, it trains you to become stagnated. It trains you to become stuck. It trains you to live only to a certain plateau. You got married, you had children, bam, that's it, And a lot of times we lose ourselves. There's nothing wrong with that. But fail to realize that when you enter into those domains of life, whether it's your business, whether it's your home, whether it's your church, whether it's the store, you're activating leadership. You just have to do it intentional. And this is the day and the hour that I really believe that intentional living for leaders are now the acceptable time that you have to do that. But there's a foundation, there's a base of how it has to be done. And that's by living through spiritual principles. I guess you say, well, what is spiritual principles? Well, spiritual matters are things you can't touch. It's not tangible. It's a force, it's a power that is operating all the time. Many of us put it as to good or evil, right or wrong, negative or positive. But it's a force. It's the things that's happening that you can't tangibly touch or see. So that's where your your discernment, your principles of life come in to utilize that to take you to the next level. Spiritual principles have to be implemented because with those principles, which is really nothing but a law, a basis of something, a functioning, it's a way of functioning based upon those spiritual things that are taking place. And if I don't understand that, and if I don't know those things that are taking place, then realistically, I'm going to miss the mark. I'm going to miss the mark in some type of way. Let me break it down for you just a little bit more. I'm an entrepreneur. I have been an entrepreneur for decades, have various businesses, and I have started some, closed some, started again, But one thing that never changes is the principles that I live by. And one of the principles that I live by is that I don't see people as business. I see people as people. People were not made to use them. People were not created to misuse them. People were not born for you to utilize them for your own selfish gain. And that's where we lose sight of those principles, because the law of reciprocity is in effect that what you do to people will be done back unto you. What you sow, you shall reap. What you give out, you will get back. All those things is just to break it down. So the principles that I have to live by is that I have to be true to myself. I have to live by character. I have to live by the principle that I don't do anything to others as I wouldn't want them done to me. I don't want anyone to take advantage of me. So if I don't see the necessity of our partnership, if I don't see the necessity of how I can not maximize from you, but be an asset to your life, then realistically, it will hinder our ability to do business together, because I will be misusing it. And I have to live by those principles. It doesn't matter if the rent is due. It doesn't matter if I have to pay my bills. It doesn't matter if I'm trying to reach my budget. It doesn't matter if I'm in a deficit. I have to live by the principles of what I know, because in the long run, if I don't, I'm going to get something back that's going to hinder me or stifle me or cause things to happen in a negative way, and I don't realize where it came from. Because when I did something at that moment, I forgot. You know what? I did something 5 years ago that caused this to happen. What a man soweth, that he shall also reap. The key to that principle is that we don't know when, we don't know where, and we don't know how. So I'm just coming today to engage with you and to share with you, because realistically, those are principles that are needed. You have to live by them. I have to live by them. I'm human. You're human. None of us asked to be here, but realistically, we were placed on this earth for a purpose. And that's what it's all about, taking you and your life to the next level, that you may be transformed into the person that you were already created to be, and to break through those barriers for greater success in your life. You're successful right now. Everybody have reached a plateau of success, but greater success is calling you. So there's some things that I want you to know about principles. First of all, principles must be respected. Principles don't respect you. You have to respect principles. Principles don't look at your pity party. Principles don't look at your circumstances. Principles don't look at your situation. Principles don't look at the fact that you need more. Principles are principles. They're going to stand. They're put in place. They're put in position. And guess what? They're not going to change. They don't change for you. They don't change for me. They don't change for my bank account. They don't change for my situation. I have to live by them. And in spite of what has been done, I have to live by the principles. Let me be a little bit transparent with you, just to share with you, because I really want you to not just hear what I'm saying, but I really want you to get to know me. And I can't get to know you, or you get to know me, without me living by the principle of transparency. Many things have been done to me, particularly in a relationship, in a marriage, infidelity, betrayal, cheating, whatever term you want to use that fits your fancy. But just because it was done to me does not mean that I had the right to go and do it. See, if I had to live by that, I would have justified the fact, oh, well, it was done to me, or they did this and I can go do this now, or it made me feel better if I would have done that. But even with the principle that I had to know to live by, and that was truth, it caused me to grow and it caused me to develop. Now, did it feel good? No. Did I like it? No, who would? But principle had to be respected. I could not render evil for evil. And just because that situation happened in my life, you would be surprised. Oh my God. Men was coming out of the woodworks, and I could have justified it easily. It seemed like time that happened in my life and it became noticeable, or I found out about it spiritually. Stuff just started coming. It just started coming. People were paying attention to me that never paid attention to me before. People were coming to me and say, hey, how are you, beautiful? That never said that before. But I had to think about it. I was like, look at what's happening. And I could not fall prey to the matter. The principle had to be lived. I had to stand. I had to continue to go in character and to go in the truth of what I knew to do what was right, in spite of my feelings, in spite of how I could have justified it, in spite of what could have happened to me to make me feel better. The spiritual principles had to be lived. As a result of that, my business sustained, my life sustained, my business started thriving. I had to go through some things. I had to change some things. But I firmly believe that if it was not for me standing in truth and living by those spiritual principles that I had to respect, it wasn't respecting my situation. I had to respect it, that I'm still here today. I believe that this show was created. Next Level Leadership Media. Get Your Leadership Fix was birthed out of me because of the spiritual principle that I live by. And I was blessed. Things came my way. And now it gives me the opportunity to engage with you. So I want to come back to you because I really want to still talk about principles, because principle, first of all, number 2, it has to be built into your life daily. It's not about what you do on the weekend. It's not about your Sunday morning. It's not about your charity. It has to be built into your daily life. So we're going to take a break because I want you to hear this commercial, because we have workshops for entrepreneurs. They're called Lunch and Leadership Workshops that helps develop you. And we have great people that I am affiliated with, partnered with, clients that I provide this platform just for you. So stay tuned, watch this commercial, and guess what? D. Collins, Next Level Leader, will be back.
Hi, I want to invite you to join Next Level Leadership Media at our Lunch and Leadership Workshop as we guide young professionals to increase their outcomes for incomes, learn key principles for success, and gain practical knowledge for self-application. We want you to get your leadership fix.
So join us at the Schaumburg Corporate Center from 11:30 to 1:30. The cost is only $20, but the information is priceless.
We have awesome lunch provided by Deli Time, and we want you to come and learn from CEOs and business professionals to help gain knowledge for you to really take your company to the next level.
So check out our website at thecommercialv.com.
Register today, the space is limited, and we want to see you there.
Well, there you have it. I truly, personally want to invite you to our Lunch and Leadership Workshop. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be held right here in my office, and I will be more than elated to meet you and engage with you. Most of all, you don't want to miss Tim Kahn. He is an outstanding entrepreneur, been in business for over 30 years, and have franchises, and really are empathic about people and being successful. So even if you aspire to be an entrepreneur or are an entrepreneur, and I don't care how long you've been in business, come on out. Lunch is going to be provided, and guess what? We're going to help take your business to the next level. Well, before we actually took that break, I was definitely on a roll talking about spiritual principles. That is really a key to success. Many people are stuck. Many people are stagnated. And trust me, I'm around entrepreneurs, business owners every day. Ministers, pastors, business owners, you name it. I get it all. And people are stuck. And one thing that I do know, and I will not deviate from, is that spiritual principles is the key that will unlock the door to a lot of things that has been closed and you've been stagnated. And that's why this show is so important, because it's not time for your business to be transformed, more so than it's time for you to be transformed. And that's what this show is designed to do, not to just take you to the next level, but to provoke you to take yourself to the next level. So I was talking about spiritual principles, and I want to get into an actual spiritual principle just to actually give you some idea of what it's about, because I believe what has taken place from a historical standpoint is very prevalent today. But if we don't know, we won't know how to go. and go into that different place for our life. But as I stated, that spiritual principles have to be built into your everyday life. Now, I'm saying that, but realistically, you don't know how to build that. So with what I do is not just teaching on this show, but teaching a class every month is to help empower people, professionals, how to build spiritual principles in their life with specificity. Let me just say this to you before I get into it. You can go to your workplace and you work every day, and you're not working with someone imparting into you with specificity. You can go to your local assembly and to your church or your organization or wherever you go, and you're so busy helping people, and you don't even get a chance to really look into yourself, and people are not imparting into you with specificity. Just because you hear a message, just because you hear a sermon, just because you hear a speech, just because you hear a presentation, it doesn't mean you know how to build that into your life with specificity, because everyone is unique. That's what I do. I come to you and you come to me, and we work specifically for where you are. If I get in my car right now and I want to go to a destination, before I go to that destination, it has to pick up on my location. And where I'm located, then it gears me and directs me to where I need to go. So it is with the navigation system in the natural, so it is with the navigation system in the spiritual. You got to know where you are before you're going to go to your destiny. And that's what I help you to do. Locate where you are. And that's part of specificity. And not only that, strategic planning. So a spiritual principle, for my third point, it is a guarantee of success. Many people think success is not guaranteed. Well, if you live by spiritual principles, you're guaranteed to be successful. But you got to know how to implement those principles to your life based upon you, your creation, your purpose, your mission, and what you were called to do. There was a reason why you was placed on this earth. It's not by happenstance that the sperm of your father met the egg of your mother. You was in that incubator for 9 months, maybe 7 months. I have no idea. The reality is you're here. And that was for a purpose. You were born on the date and the very timing in which was required for you. Now, you can't get more specific than that, but now it's your responsibility to discover that. Now it's your responsibility to understand why you're here. And I firmly believe you're not here just to run after money, rob Peter to pay Paul, have sex, go here, drink, rip and run. It's more to life. And don't leave this earth without fulfilling your purpose. So I want to give you a spiritual principle that really illuminated my heart and my mind. And actually, it's a part of my life. And when I looked at this and when I read this and when I was studying about this, I was like, wow, I am really in the place that I'm supposed to be. But if I didn't sit down and understand that, then I would not be able to maximize off of that. I hope you got that. And all that getting, get an understanding. Wisdom is the principal thing, as according to Proverbs, the 4th chapter. Get wisdom. You got that. But now it's a time for you to get an understanding. I got a lot of wisdom. I've had a lot of older people impart into me. And I'm kind of old school. But realistically, I have to gain an understanding, not for where I've been, but for where I am. So I was reading in Exodus, spiritual principles. I believe in the word of truth because I'm a woman of faith. And with that, I take that and I apply it to my life. So when I was reading Exodus, the 18th chapter, and let me just sum it up for you, is Moses. And he was working and under the leadership of his father-in-law, Jethro. The first principle is, leader to leader, you always need somebody. Leaders can't not just be out there alone. Moses was a dynamic leader. Actually, he was chosen to free the people, Israel, out of Egypt, which means misery. Egypt literally means misery. And many people right now, maybe yourself, are in a place of misery. You don't like what you're doing. You don't like where you are. You're stuck. You're miserable. You just don't want to admit it. But I'm telling you, you're miserable. Okay? So there's a plan for your way out. Realistically, you can't do it by yourself. So Moses was connected with his father-in-law, Jethro, whom he respected. And he was going through these things, helping the Israelites. And I'm just paraphrasing it. And he was giving them counsel. Moses was working hard, rising up early in the morning, late at night, counseling the people, telling the people what they needed, judging them and giving them, and the people were coming to him. And Moses was like, Jethro was like, what are you doing? His father-in-law. And he was like, I'm giving the people counsel. Moses didn't see any problem with it because really he was doing what he was called to do. He was committed to the people. God called him to deliver him out and he was committed to it. But even when you're being committed, you could be committed to your own detriment. And trust me, I can tell you that personally, okay? So Jethro was saying, his father-in-law, he said, you're going to wear yourself out. He said, doing it the way that you're doing it, you're going to wear yourself out. And not only are you going to wear yourself out, but you're going to wear the people out. You and the people are going to be worn out. I was like, man, I can attest to that because I did it for 10 years. Getting up from a spiritual leader perspective, counseling the people, talking to them. They called me anytime, and I got wore out. And they got wore out. And we had a place that we all were wore out. And so I had to shift, but I didn't understand the shift. Spiritually, I was shifted. Spiritually, God was positioning me to take me to the next level. I just didn't understand that the principle was working on my behalf. The principle was working, but I had to now gain insight and understanding, like I'm telling you now, that I'm living the principle. So now that I understand it, I can move more in that domain with greater intention because now I'm positioned properly. And that's why principles are so important. It's a law. It's going to happen. And many people miss that opportunity. So going back to the story, Exodus, the 18th chapter. So his father-in-law Jethro gave him that principle and he lived by it. He gave him a leadership mandate. He said, and this is what you do. He gave him some instructions. He gave him a strategy. He gave him a plan. And that's what comes with it. You got to have a strategy. You got to have a plan. He said, take all the people that you freed and they're leaders. And I want you to take people that are men of truth. And I want you to take people that fear God. What's the point that you're staying there? Everybody can't go where you're going. Why? Because they don't fear God and they're not people of truth. You can't make people who don't live by character and principles go anywhere with you until they make a decision for their life. And oftentimes we're trying to take people with us that don't need to go. Now, he said, take those people, he said, and put them over some things. He said, let them handle it. They're called leaders. And you let them handle it. Put them over this part of your business. Put them over this part. While you're making all the decisions and you counseling them, he said, you put them over this. You put them over that. You put them over that. And let them deal with the small matters. Let them handle the small matters. Because you're going to wear yourself out in them too because you're not challenging them to think. Moses did it. He said, now, Moses, they handle the small matters. And when they run into obstacles, let them come to you for the greater matters. Let them come to you from the large matters. And then you lead them based upon that. Make a long story short, Moses did it. He said, now, if you do this, you're going to get outcomes. If you do this, you're going to have success. Guess what? Moses did it. And he had success. What is the moral of my point? First of all, that's the spiritual principles that you have to live by as a leader. First of all, most leaders don't like to let go. Most leaders like to stay in control, only because they haven't gone through a personal growth and development themselves to know how to release, trust, and let go. Is it difficult? Is it necessary? For sure. And that's what you have to do. But to do that, you have to have a leader to sharpen you, to help you to understand with specificity how to do it. I really want you to come out and I want you to engage. Not only if you can't come out, I want to come to you. I come to your corporation. I come to your office. I come to that because you need leadership development. We all do. Leader to leader. There's some things happening in your business. There's some things happening in your company. There's some things happening in your corporation that some leaders are there that need to be empowered. They need to handle some greater matters, some smaller matters, and you handle some other stuff. But you got to be empowered and understand how to strategically align yourself and able to do that. Give me a call. I am D. Collins, 1-855-430-LEAD. You have a great day.
Our company, Next Level Leadership Media, is here to serve you. We offer educational and empowerment training programs as well as workshops. We're a little bit different in our approach in that we talk about the personal domains of life that impact business. Our main goal is to take entrepreneurs, business owners, and their employees to the next level, not only in business, but also in life. Our programs include team building, effective communication, but then our workshops also include empowerment clinics in which we talk more and more about what it is to be successful in the workplace and overcome barriers for success personally. In addition to that, we offer group coaching. We also offer what's called a LEAD group, LEAD, acronyms for leadership, entrepreneurship, advocacy, and discipleship. And we offer this as additional support to entrepreneurs as well as professionals. We invite you to visit our website, www.getyourleadershipfix.com. Contact us at 1-855-430-LEAD. We hope to hear from you. It's a little bit different, it's not scary, but we are impactful, we've been successful, and we look forward to taking you, your employees, and your business to the next level. Do not hesitate to give us a call. Do not hesitate to register for one of our events. We also have training programs, women in leadership conferences, as well as Next Level Leadership Legacy Summits. Again, visit us on our website or contact us directly. I can't wait to hear from you, and I look forward to servicing you and taking your business to the next level. Take care.